Well, hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with Sister Wives. It is episode 13, correct?
Correct. Yes, it is titled Benevolence, bitch.
Yeah. We'll get into the word benevolence later. At first I was like, why are they captioning this that? Like, that was such a weird, like, title, because usually I don't pay attention to the titles. But for some reason I saw it and was like, it's a weird title, but okay. And
Yeah,
then at the
I
end,
mean,
makes
this season especially, they have not always done this, but this season especially, they have used titles of words that are spoken in the episode. So I was
Mhm.
really excited to hear what the hell was going to be told when this was said. And I was pleased by how it was spoken.
Yeah. But anyway, so we start off with Meri and Janelle talking about, oh, is this? I thought we started off with them for some reason.
I believe we hop right back into
Oh
apology.
yeah, he does. Yes. I you know what? I blacked this out because just like
It was
Christine, I was like, this is weird.
Yes.
He's
Nobody had anything to say other than how weird this
mhm.
part was.
Well, because I get why he did it with Janelle, I guess. Like she's single and it's a little less weird that way. But with Christine, David really is right there. I don't think she cares if you ever loved her or not at this point. All these women know that at one point you did love them, just like David said. Like, well, duh, you loved them. Like, you had kids with them, you had a life with them. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
And so with Kody, I think his whole thing was to try to apologized for, I don't really know what with Christine, because it was really strange. Just, well, you gave me such a good experience.
I
And
know. And
I
to
just thought
call
that
it
was weird.
like from a poet's perspective, a good experience. All of this stuff about a storm and a sunset and a poet's perspective. And I
Yeah.
mean, this man just went on and all these description types of words and never actually said anything about apologizing. The man never even said, I'm sorry. He just kept saying, I would like to apologize. I'm apologizing. And it's just such
I'm
a
here to
proclamation.
apologize to Christine.
Yes. And nobody else. It's just the whole thing was forced. I felt like his conversation with Janelle was an actual conversation. And yes,
Yeah.
I was annoyed about that she didn't really push him beyond that, but it was at least a back and forth conversation. It felt like, and this is why they're divorced, but I mean, Christine and Kody were just talking at each other. And I think David really was doing his best to try to get them to see and understand and hear each other. And then Kody got upset by that. So I don't know.
Well,
The whole thing was bad.
to me, at least with Janelle, he was giving real life examples of where he failed her. I failed you in the beginning of our marriage. I didn't stand up for you for this. With Christine, it was, I want to apologize to you. You did give me a good experience. And like, that's basically all, like, him talking circles around that exact point. I
Yes.
loved you. And, this is the kicker, that I loved you. It's like,
No.
Christine didn't even know what to say. You could tell she was just uncomfortable. Like, well, we're fine. I've moved on.
Yeah.
This conversation, and I was really annoyed with Christine as well as I was annoyed with Janelle, and almost more so with Christine, because I heard Christine tell David, I'm going to bring up the kids. I'm
Yeah.
here to make this about the kids. This is not about me and him. It's about the kids. Then she went into that dinner, and I'm sure if she would have brought up the kids, TLC would have aired it, just like they showed David doing it. Thank God he said something, because
Right.
someone needed to say something about these kids. And the way Kody took it from David, I'm sure is why Christine didn't want to push it anymore. She's like, no, he's not going to, go for it. But she should have been the one to bring up her kids first. Like, yeah, this is all great and everything, but what do you want to do about truly moving forward? What do you want to do
Yeah.
about the rest of these kids? Are you going to reach out to them? How are
Yeah.
you reaching out to them? Who have you reached out to? You
Yeah.
know, do you think about maybe coming out to Utah and like spending time with the kids that are there? Like,
Yeah, I
anything.
mean, one thing I will say about that, and this is not in defense of Kody by any means. I guess more so in defense of Christine or like the purpose of this meeting, even though I think the purpose of this meeting should be more focused on the kids. more so than the women. I like what David said. I think this is in the next scene, but he said something like, or maybe it was even in this scene, but he said the women have all moved on to some capacity, and an apology is nice, but it's your kids that really need to do the healing, because Kody kept talking about, I want you to heal and all of this. And it's just like, I did see from the whole perspective of this episode that everybody here was trying their best to be careful. Did they go about that the right way? I don't necessarily know or think so personally, but they were trying to really tread lightly and be careful and not make things worse than they were before. And I can appreciate and respect that. So, I think it's important maybe that Christine acknowledged, or had David acknowledge, I guess, which is kind of a cop out, but that the kids are necessary to be thought of in this situation. But I mean, I guess maybe they were trying to just take the first baby step. And I think that was Kody's intention, but I think Kody is so narcissistically focused on himself that he cannot understand that things go beyond his own emotions, that he's not the only thing that is capable of making people heal. Like Christine said, people need to be focused and responsible for their own healing, especially people who are married, Kody. Like, you really truly think that this woman is going to sit by her husband and be like, yes, I'm still so broken and wounded.
Right. And oh my gosh, thank you for telling me that you loved me, because now I can move on. Like, what? I liked when Christine did bring this up. She brought it up later, but when she said that she has already been healed since before being with David. She said, when I got with David, I had already been healed. I had already worked on this myself. And he has this strange thing in his head right now of, I only need to apologize to these women. And I almost thought it was a way to try to get to the kids, but no, it is so they can heal. Because no one has healed yet in these last few years, like not moved on. They're all just waiting around, upset at this man or something. Like, what?
Yeah, I think this is Kody projecting all over his ex-wives, because he's really the only one who's unhealed. He has abandoned and left these women to figure out their own emotions on their own, and they have done so. And now here he comes literally years later and wants to be like, oh, here's my apology so that you can heal. It's just such a display of his own self-centeredness, his own inability to see beyond his own lens. It's actually quite impressive how much he isn't healed. Yes, he was an alien. So true. He was hell-bent on shutting David down about the kids. He totally was. And I thought that was really rude. I mean, David did step in when Kody said something like, the apologies are said. I think that we can shake hands, and I hope that we can move on and be cordial. And David says, why do you hope? Because this is how it kind of has to be. You guys have kids together. You have to start with your kids. The kids need to heal. He completely shut him down and acted. I don't think it was in this scene, but the ultimate way that Kody was treating David was, you have had 2 years with Christine and I have had 25, and acting as if he's some kind of all-knowing. Well, the 25 years that you had with Christine, according to Christine, were not fulfilling and happy and satisfying in almost any fashion. So,
well, you didn't have 25 straight years with Christine. You had 25 years every third night, fourth night or so with Christine. You were not there for some. Maybe you've had 7 years total with Christine. Maybe. That's being nice. David is seeing her every single day for 2 years. There's a difference. This man
is fully immersed in Christine's world. Diaper.
And only Christine.
Diaper cakes and all.
Yeah.
Yep. Kody would never even know what a diaper cake was. David knows every single package that gets delivered to his home and why it's there.
Well, and that's how Kody wasn't invested in these wives as much as he wants to be, or claims to be, or have been, is because he thinks every single one of them needs the same exact apology as the other one, especially about I know I said I never loved you.
Right.
I loved you. Like,
He's
they
gonna
go
have
all
to really brush up for Meri, because this was a very canned apology. What he gave to Janelle was clearly well thought out. It was clearly something that he meant, that he felt that was on his heart to say, that he wanted to get off his chest. Like you said, it was more detailed. This was such a canned apology. And then it was so canned that he couldn't really even necessarily keep track of where he was at in this apology. He just kept going on and on. I mean, you saw them eat oysters, steaks, French fries, dessert. And even by the end of dessert, when Christine, all the way at the end, yes, we're jumping ahead, could not even stand it anymore and had to get up and leave. He's like, well, I'm not done apologizing. It's like, how long do you need to take, man? We've just had a 3-course meal.
And when are you going to get to the actual apologizing part? Not a single part of this is actual accountability on your end. In fact, when he brings up the kids, he says to David, the kids left at the group, and it wasn't anything that me or my kids did to ruin our relationship. What? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like,
yeah, it was a group experience. Basically, he's saying, it was a group effort for my family to fail, and so everyone needs to take accountability, as he's sitting in a room trying to force someone to accept his apology. It's just actually insane. The man is insane. But we will come back to this conversation multiple times. So if anything else that we miss, we will be back, because I think they weave us in and out of here at least 3 times, and then we go to the racetrack too. So we are going to jump over to Meri and Janelle's conversation, and they are talking about Janelle's desire to have a spiritual release from Kody Brown.
Yeah, what's funny to me is that this conversation, I'm like, Meri and Janelle are much like friendlier than they ever were in this, like, in this conversation. Janelle's like, "Oh, you still got the B&B open? Oh, you're renovating it." Like, they're just more.
And Meri
pals.
clearly wants to support her, and I think she's actually. I love the way that Meri is approaching Janelle in these conversations. It's always a, if you want me around, or if you want to tell me, I'm here, kind of thing. Because I think it acknowledges that they do have a rocky past, but that she's willing to actually be benevolent and extend an olive branch in reality, in her real behaviors, and not just in some show like Kody Brown.
Right. So Janelle does ask her, I guess, about the spiritual divorce. She lets her know that she's ready, and she is nervous to do it. She's like, I am a grown-ass woman, and I am scared to talk to these church elders.
I don't blame her.
I mean, I think it's intimidating. I don't know how old these dudes are. I'm assuming it's like a line of old dudes at a table for some reason.
That's what I'm thinking too, and they're all like dressed in, really religious, like, those like schmucks that they wear, and maybe like a crazy hat.
Maybe.
And it's like smoky in there with incense, and they're like, why are you leaving? That's what I think. And I would be scared to go there too.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that with Meri, they almost seemed like they didn't really want to do the divorce. She said that it just kind of felt like they wanted to talk to Kody. They probably did try to text that man, and he didn't respond. So they're like, you know what? If he's abandoning me, he's abandoning you. So
I imagine a similar way to a court date for your divorce. They probably informed him, your ex-wife is trying to do, or your wife is trying to do this. You need to appear and give your side of the story. And it seems like he didn't show up. But we did get a bonus scene from this, and we get a little bit more of a background on Meri's spiritual release and the process of Meri's, and we get more background on who these, elder people are in this religion. Not much, but a smidge. So I was happy with this bonus scene, because usually we get, some stuff with Christine and David, or with Kody and Robyn, and, I was happy to see these two interacting. So, they are talking obviously about Janelle getting this spiritual release done and how scared she is. And Janelle keeps referring to Meri, and she keeps saying like him or the guy. So it sounds like it might just be one guy that they have to talk to. And it sounds like because Meri grew up in this culture, that she is personally familiar with this one guy. So it was easier, or Janelle is trying to say, like, it was easier for you to do this because you knew him. And Meri does agree. She says, like, as far as the whole thing, he was the one that did the process, and he was familiar with my situation before, like, I even came up and talked to him. But she says, like, let me tell you the process of how everything went so that you know what to expect. And then she goes into this confessional and she talks about how her process went for the spiritual release. And she says that she did reach out to the guy, the leader, not leaders. So I think it's just this guy, and apparently he knows Meri. And they set up an appointment. They spoke over the phone, and he said to come in person for their appointment, but beforehand that he wanted an email in a letter of all of her grievances. And she said,
both an email and a letter?
Yes, I think an emailed letter.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, probably with her signature, you know, because this is serious.
A digital copy and then a physical copy for his file cabinet.
Probably for his file cabinet. This is serious religious business. You know, it has to go straight to, like, you know, the gods. Like, these people are no longer forever bound. So, I mean, it's gotta be posted everywhere. So yeah, she said she was supposed to put all her grievances in this letter and email it to him, and that they would have this appointment and talk about it.
Wonder if she attached the show. Like, just watch the show as well if you don't believe me.
Exactly. Yeah, or just like CC'd all the producers on TLC, you know, as her witnesses or whatever. Yeah, possibly. She said that she did not, she kept saying line out instead of outline, but the way that I say it is outline. But she said she did not outline her grievances. She just pretty much put the basics in it. And like we learned in the last episode, Kody did not participate, and they didn't really want to give it to her, but they did end up giving it to her when she pushed just a smidge. And I think that that's what's worrying Janelle, because Janelle brings up the fact to Meri's face that she was abandoned by Kody for years, and they still didn't necessarily seem like they wanted to give it to her because Kody wasn't participating. And she was like, for me, I wasn't abandoned. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to be like, hey, you know, you should probably try and work this out. And she's like, I am not going to stay married to Kody if they don't grant me this release. I'm trying to do everything the right way, but I am going to just peace out at that point and say that I've done everything that I need to do. So she's not going to try to reconcile, even if the church asks her to do that. And then Meri gives her a little bit of reassurance. She says, you know, look, I'm not in these people's heads, but I have a pretty good sense that they're going to grant you a release and not tell you to reconcile with him. So she says, well, either way, I just want to know on my conscience that I'm doing this the right way, and I can walk away whether I get granted my release or not. Hey, Days, you're not too late. Don't worry. Did they do a sacrificial ceremony? Did they do a sacrificial ceremony to do the release? I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet. Maybe it'll be in the next bonus scene.
Like they walk around her with like incense or something, like, and have to do some kind of chant or whatever. Is that what you're saying? Like, to make it official spiritually?
Yeah. What do you think they would sacrifice in this?
Yeah, I don't know. I am wondering, you know, that's a good point, because, you know, the marriage is like a really religious, like when you do it through the religions, is pretty religious. I mean, like, you have prayers and all that. So like, are there prayers that undo that? And then,
oh my God, you have to say them backwards and walk backwards at the same time.
I don't know. Like, does Kody have to be there for that? Like, do they kind of bless her? I'm curious as well, because, you know, this isn't the only religion where you need to, like, you don't need to, but where you, if you want to remarry in that church, you would have to get a divorce through the church as well. I know, like, Catholics are that way. A lot of Christians are that way. So like, you can't get remarried in the Catholic Church until you've already gotten a divorce in the Catholic Church. And actually, funny, I mean, it's not really a funny story, but one of my cousins, his wife got a divorce through the church before marrying him, because she had found out that the man that she married, like on her wedding night, she saw his phone and he had been cheating on her. So
Wow.
she ended up getting a real divorce, like a regular divorce. And then she went back to the church and got a spiritual divorce, like through the church, because she wanted to, if she wanted to remarry, she wanted to, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Because once you're married through the church, it don't matter if you get an annulment or a regular divorce, they still see you as married to someone else.
Right. A
So
lot of times churches, especially ones that play a more significant role in people's lives, will look at those things separately. Like the marriage is a religious thing and it's also a legal thing, and they're
right.
not just the same.
Right, which is kind of why I had a second wedding, I guess, is because we only did it at the courthouse, which is
Right.
like the legal way, but I'm also, religious myself, so I wanted to do it the other way as well. So, that man is stuck with me.
In every dimension.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, they do work through obviously Janelle's worries and fears a little bit, and Meri just ends up kind of telling her, this is what to expect. They're probably not going to tell you no. I double dog dare you. Just send them a text. You don't even have to call them. And while sending the text, Janelle says something under her breath about it being old fashioned. And I'm like, lady, it is not old fashioned to send a text. Like, I'm thinking of these church elders as 700 years old. It's like at least we're not writing them on like calligraphy anymore. We're sending a
Yeah,
text.
with feather
We're saying
pens.
hello.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. This is 2024 at least, so you're gonna be okay. Well, hopefully they don't use animals. Agreed. But maybe they like cut their palm and say a chant, like you said. Maybe I mean cutting their palm is a little violent, slightly violent.
I mean, you think there's blood involved? Possible.
Actually, I mean, I guess we would know from Meri. Meri let us know what happened. I guess all we need was an email. I don't think
Yeah,
it's that big.
I think that we've evolved days into emails.
Yeah, from sacrifices to emails.
An email sacrifice of all of her
Yes.
grievances. That must have
Yes.
been a long email.
She said she didn't do it. She said she just stuck to the basics, because I bet you it probably was going to be a long email. So she just said,
start at the beginning with her.
She said, this man knows me and my struggles, so I'll just show up.
Yeah, like if you really need to know, I'll tell you. There's a lot for me to type. I'd get carpal tunnel.
I know. It's wild. So Janelle does end up texting the elder leadership of the church, and I guess we'll see what happens from there. But like I said earlier, Meri is pretty supportive. It kind of makes me sad, because obviously Meri doesn't know yet that this whole thing happened between Kody and Janelle about Coyote Pass, and I honestly don't think that it's as big of a deal as Kody is trying to make it out to be. I think this is one of Kody's final attempts to really drive a wedge in between Janelle and Meri, because I think probably Janelle offered it as an option. Like, if this is really a roadblock or really an issue, if it comes down to it, these are what our options are. And right. Kody is acting as if Janelle was saying, do it now.
See, I have a theory on that. And I think that it's like when they asked Janelle about it, even in confessional, she's said, I said, well, you can. And I don't think that conversation meant as much to Janelle as it did to Kody. No. I think, as usual, Kody loves to blow things up and make things out of proportion. And I think that's really what he did. He had a conversation with her, and they probably talked. She's like, well, you could do that. You could. Yeah. But I don't think she was actually trying to gang up against Meri, because otherwise I feel like she would feel awkward reaching out to Meri for help for stuff like this. I don't even think Janelle thought twice about it after that conversation much, until the producers started asking her questions. Yeah. And by then, all this stuff's already done. So
I completely agree. And I hope that all kind of comes out in the wash when Suki inevitably asks about it and these, reunions that they're going to have. we'll see, I guess, because I would hate for Meri to get all upset and offended at Janelle, because I really do think that Kody is playing this off. I think he even made it out to Robyn to be like, oh, the ex-wives are fighting again and I'm getting sucked in, so that Robyn could play her stupid role to speak Kody and be a peacemaker and give her a final, peacemaker. It's just, the whole thing is so,
I think it was a way
laid
to
out and manipulated.
have Meri not mad at Robyn. Like, oh, she stood up for me.
Yeah.
I think it's all
To keep
manipulation.
yes, it's to keep the structure that they had before, where Meri and Robyn, were together and didn't like Janelle, and that Janelle had to run to Kody to be comforted. It's like all of this is just sheer manipulation. It's just gross. It's gross.
Hard
they have
to break old habits.
It is. Well, it is when people are manipulating you into those habits, especially. Days says they have to let Janelle divorce him because they let Meri. I agree. But I do think Janelle kind of made a good point. I was surprised she made it to Meri's face, but Kody did severely and significantly abandon Meri. Whereas I think Kody severely and significantly abandoned Janelle's children, but I don't think he really abandoned Janelle.
Well, he hasn't been to her house in years at this point. I think now it's abandonment.
Yes, at this point. But at the same time, Janelle moved states. She could, on paper, have to take some responsibility.
Well, she had already not seen this man in a year when she moved states.
Yes, that's the truth.
So, yes, I think Meri had a better case. But at the same time, that I could understand if Janelle was trying to leave Kody at the same time, Meri did, or before Meri. But he's already got one wife that he completely abandoned. I don't think it's a huge stretch to assume that he abandoned all of them. In fact, if I was one of these church elders or the guy, once this happened, I would have probably been following up with Kody, so how are your relationships with your other wives? And then trying to see if all these women need to be released, because
agreed.
Why do you get to keep the other two if you can't keep the one?
I think if they were still involved in the church, that probably is part of the process that he
would investigation.
Well, he'd probably have to do some remediation or something, right? He's now, especially I would also come in there if I was Janelle with some kind of documentation that Christine has gotten married to. I know that the church won't recognize that, but it is still real. This person has also moved on. Just because she's not released herself, she's married. She's also not with Kody.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I hope that we get some updates on this as the season goes on. But I don't know. I think it's winding down, so we shall see. Maybe she'll let Suki know.
Or even have to tell all, yeah.
So we do pop back over to the awkward apology. I was going to say the world's most awkward apology, but we haven't seen Meri's yet. So I guess to be determined. Yes. But Kody jumps back in from where David had confronted him about, you should start with your kids. And Kody says, hey, don't bring me over to this place, because if you start bringing up these correct accusations against me, I'm going to get defensive and angry, and I am here to apologize. And this guy starts to speak to David in a way that really made me feel quite icky and quite angry. So I'm not surprised that this conversation was ended shortly after, because this whole, do you understand? And does that make sense? And all of that. It's just, there's a way to say it if you're genuinely trying to ask, am I making sense? Do you get what I'm saying? And the way that his face is saying it right now, it's different.
Well, it's gross to me that he says, I know it's to us in confessional, but you might as well just said it there. I'm not here to apologize to David or anyone else. What do you mean, or anyone else? You don't need to apologize to David. I don't think that's even what he's looking for. But you do need to apologize to your children. You do need to figure out a way to mend fences with them. I don't understand why Kody thinks he did absolutely nothing wrong with his kids other than,
get a divorce.
Get a divorce. You completely abandon them with COVID.
Yeah.
You don't reach out to them. You don't text them. although I'm not on his phone, I'll give him that. I don't know if he texts them and they don't respond. But you have like 15 other kids,
Yeah.
and every single one of them has some kind of damaged relationship with you. That's
Right.
not a coincidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's not a, oh, our moms are all gone, so we're gonna leave. No,
Yeah.
we saw Leon say that they were in the same room as this man and he ignored them. We also saw them say he's never reached out in years. Like,
Right.
every kid has that story. And if you are reaching out to kids, I think they would say, well, he's reached out, but I'm not ready yet. Or he's
Right.
said this to me and whatever. But no, I just, I don't know, it just blows my mind that he thinks we're all that stupid that we would believe this.
Especially when like all of this is on television. Your whole life for, the last 20 years has been on television. We've seen how good of a dad you're capable of being, and we've seen how absent and harmful of a father that you have been.
Yeah, remember when Robyn wanted to get that house in Sedona that was like 30 minutes away, and Kody was like, I can't do that because of the relationship with my kids.
Yeah.
Little did he know that he was about to blow up his relationship with his kids anyways.
Right.
But Robyn was pushing for a house that was far away. Like, she didn't care about them kids.
No, she did not. But just a little bit later, I mean, she definitely was able to sink her claws in, because when, what was it, Aspen that needed to get surgery?
No, it was Isabel.
Isabel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He says, I can't leave my family for that long, so he picks and chooses who's his family.
Yep.
This stupid guy. But yeah, so I mean, he pretty much is here to tell us in this confessional, like, accept my apology. If you're interested in healing, take what I have to say and don't ask any questions and don't hold me accountable. It's just insane. User Alien asks, why did she need to go to Sedona? Why did she need to go to Sedona?
I don't remember. I think she liked the house or something. I can't remember. It was like when they moved to Flagstaff. But I honestly, probably because that's where Christine lost her mind, and that's where everything kind of blew up for everyone else's marriage. She probably just loves the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a great place for Robyn to be. Oh, yes. But I mean, I think I think this is the scene more so where, David and Kody are kind of going back and forth. And Kody's really shutting David down and pretty much everything that David brings up. David's even vulnerable with him and says, I've struggled with my kids, and I was stubborn and I was kind of like you. And Kody's just not interested in hearing any of this. He kind of gets in the confessional and says that he sees David as being on the opposite side of him, which I think is really strange, because I think David is really trying to level with him. So to me, that tells me that Kody is not hearing David. Kody is just trying to not defend himself, and that's enough for him. That's enough for his whole mental capacity, is to just try to not get into an argument with this man. Yeah. How hard-headed. It's just,
he's like, I invited you to be here, but I want you to just shut up and watch me tell your wife how much I love her.
It's crazy.
Or used to love her.
David made that up to relate to Kody, and he still wasn't having it. Maybe he did make that up, but I kind of believed it. I mean, David, I imagine, has probably had a really, really hard past with his kids. I'm not inferring or implying anything, but I know that, David's ex-wife took her life. And so I can't imagine that was an easy thing between him and his family. And even if there's no blame involved on anyone's, side, it's just a hard thing for a family to grapple with, and all kinds of anger and, stuff comes up when that.
He probably had to work a lot, and so, like, who knows? But even if he did make it up, bless him, because he tried to relate to that man somehow.
Totally. I think Kody is so stupid, because David can probably relate and really help Kody out if Kody could kind of, bring his defenses down a little bit, because Kody has gone through the loss, or Kody too, but David has gone through the loss of, a family member in a tragic way, in exactly the same way that Kody has, while enduring, a separation and having issues with his family and things like that. So I just think Kody could learn a lot from David. David's not perfect by any means. But this is where I think Kody went to a couple sessions of therapy. I don't think he went to enough therapy.
I think he went through special forces therapy.
Well, he starts bringing up therapy speak, like, triangulation and not getting kids involved in relationships. And I think, he might have watched a YouTube video or something, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, he certainly did not do the work, right? But I do think he dipped his toes into something therapeutic because he's using a lot of therapy terms, but not in the appropriate ways, of course.
Well, this is where I was annoyed with Christine, where he's like, my relationship with that, like, whatever. I think she needed to be like, well, your relationship, especially with Truly, does kind of involve me. I'm the one she's living with, and X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm the one with the relationship with these kids. I do think you need to do X, Y, and Z. Now, I get why he was defensive when David brought up, because he's like another, the man that like replaced him. But I think Christine could have doubled down and said, because that's what she went there for. Remember. Was to advocate for her children. And when given the chance to advocate for her children, she said, yep, you're right. It's your relationship with them.
Yeah. Like, no, I agree. And I think she kind of left David out to dry at the same time, too, because David was walking this plank trying to relate to Kody, saying this is what you need to do. And then Christine's like, yeah, it's yours. I'm not going to triangulate myself. And I kind of, I agree with you. And I disagree with Christine, too. I think, yes, it is his relationship, but parents should facilitate relationships with other parents if they can. I'm not saying that there should be any shame if it's not possible.
And for some reason, Kody was blaming Christine and all these other wives for facilitating a negative relationship with his children.
Exactly.
So how come now his relationship with his children has to be his and his own? But the whole rest of the time, all throughout Sister Wives, it was, well, the moms have to help facilitate the relationship with me because I'm not always there.
Right.
Like, what is this, sir? He's like taking, he's gone to therapy, but he's also gone to Robyn therapy, where where one definition isn't another definition, and then they got a new definition over here. Like, they can have the same word and they're using it 50 different ways, and none of it means the same thing.
Agreed. Kody said David doesn't get polygamy. He was shutting him down the whole time. Yes, he did say that. It was funny. They kind of had dueling confessionals in this episode. They were kind of talking back and forth to each other. I thought it was really funny. I was pretty entertained by the confessionals. I was not entertained by this apology. I thought it was BS. I thought Christine handled the whole thing weird. I think she lost her head. Thank God David was there just to keep something on track.
I think it's obvious she's just not confrontational. And when she got there, she thought she was going to say things. And then when she's actually in front of the man, she's like, all right, this is too awkward for me. Like, I wasn't expecting, this weird stuff about love.
Well, he just, he came out and he started strong. And I think she was open to like a nice, this is what I'm sorry for. But then it just became so repetitive of like, I loved you. I loved you. Things were great. We had this great experience. I'm sorry. But no, like you said, no details, no actual accountability, no actual I'm sorry, right? Just I apologize. I'm here to apologize, blah, blah, blah. It was crazy. And so, I mean, Kody shuts all of everything down in the whole thing between him and David. He says in his confessional, if you want to hear my apology and say nothing else. And I mean,
but you didn't even do an actual apology. So what is he listening to? Just a bunch of gibberish of we had a wonderful life. Okay, cool.
Yes, like, hear my words. They're going to be so healing, but he has no healing words to say. Just some weird poetic landscape of a sunset and a storm.
Yeah, I think he really wanted to apologize to Janelle. And he just threw Meri and Christine in there just as like, I can't. I mean, he might have wanted to apologize to Christine just to get her healing or to try to like start that path with his kids. I don't know. But with Meri, he just threw her in because he knew if he didn't throw her in, she'd be mad that he apologized to everybody but her. And she suffered.
I agree. And I have heard, I'm not sure how true this is, but I don't know why this person would say it if they didn't know. But I have heard that this actually did go down while they were still in court about Truly and child support and everything.
Yep.
So,
There you go.
I think that's why Christine was so heavily questioning his motives and his intentions at that time. And I agree. I think he apologized to Janelle because his heart was in it and it was on his heart. He apologized to Christine because his finances were in it and it was in his best interest. And he's going to apologize to Meri so that Mary's not once again the only wife that's abandoned and left with nothing.
Yep.
Stupid man. She needed to advocate for Truly. I agree. And, maybe they did that off camera, or maybe that's something that they decided amongst each other. They're already in court for these things. They'll leave that to court. I don't know, but I do agree. Cannot argue with that.
Yep. For a man who has like a room for her.
Yeah. A guest room / Truly's room. That's really where your child wants to feel comfortable and safe and welcome.
And you bought you probably already had a room like that.
Right.
In the other house. Why'd you have to upgrade just so you could do that again?
So stupid. So we go over to this even more ridiculous scene between Aurora and Robyn. And I really honestly wouldn't talk much about it, but unfortunately we got a bonus scene. So I'll just walk you guys through it. Apologies.
I have things to say about it, but
okay, good. Robyn informs all of us that Aurora has been in a serious relationship. It ain't no situationship. It is very serious. It's been going on for almost a year. And this man is in basic training, I think, and he's about to graduate. So the bonus scene starts off with Robyn asking if Aurora's going to get Brody anything for his graduation. And in true Aurora fashion, she saw these bows that women put in their hair that represent their man because of their tapes that they have on their chest.
Girl, that's a gift for you. What?
It's like when you buy yourself lingerie and consider that a gift.
That's what I was going to say. Are you going to wear lingerie with this to make it for him? Because that bow is for you to wear, girl. What?
Well, and she's like, this girl is always trying to put a bow in her hair. It's just completely insane.
I'm not going to lie. She almost frustrates me more than Robyn. I didn't know. I think it's because I expect this out of Robyn. But yeah, she's such a 5-year-old in a 20-something-year-old's body.
She's just the most mini sobbing Robyn could ever sobbing.
I know.
It's shocking and impressive.
So crazy to me.
So I don't know. Apparently something's not going to get here in time. I don't know if his tapes or whatever aren't going to get there in time, or the bow that she wants to put them all on or whatever. But thank the lucky stars, this is not going to happen for her or for Brody. So I don't know. She doesn't have a gift idea yet. She's not going to be putting this bow in her hair. Robyn is more concerned to try to figure out what is it that happens after basic training. I think she's trying to figure out what are your guys' plan in a relationship, because that's where the scene that was there.
You're going to marry for benefits or what?
Right. Yeah. That's what I think she's trying to figure all that out, because he's obviously going to get stationed somewhere soon. Right. So what's going on? So Aurora says that after basic training, he has a couple of other trainings that he has to attend. He's got all of them, I guess, happening at the same base in some sort of program or whatever. Robyn is meanwhile in the background talking about how they could easily go into a long-term commitment, but that Aurora is in school, and sort of comparing herself and saying, I wasn't in school. I already had 2 kids when I was her age. So I'm glad that she's taking her time to figure everything out and be in school before she gets into more of a marriage, not necessarily a committed relationship, but a marriage.
That wasn't the vibe I got from her when not the bonus scene. It seemed like she wanted her to live life longer and whatever, but at the same time, keep her in her nest. Which is it? Do you want her to fly or do you want her to stay in the nest?
Well, I think she wants her to fly in the nest. I think she doesn't want her to be, committed to once, especially in Robyn's brain, because she still kind of thinks she lives in her religion. Like once her daughter's married, she's gone. She's a wife now.
Well, Robyn's been married before and she acts like that never even happened. Where was her conviction for that guy?
I don't know. That's a good question, Miss.
Or her spiritual moment.
Why is Robyn making Aunt Sarah's cookies with her actual minor daughter? Why isn't Robyn making Aunt Sarah's cookies with her actual minor daughter?
Sarah. She just making Aunt Sarah's cookies. That's a great question, Days. I'm thinking because what's her name? Ariella. She's got some crazy names for these kids, but I'm guessing because she outs them a lot by either looking confused at what they're saying or being like, okay. Like she seems to be a little bit more mature than the baby Sobbins.
Honestly. And I do think that Robyn has, a motive here in spending time with Aurora because I think she's trying to remind her, don't get married yet. I think
she's trying to figure out if she's getting grandkids or not,
Honestly, I think she is trying to really plan her life here for the next couple of years. So, I mean, Aurora just spills all the plans. This is what's going on. He's got this and this and this more training. Then he's going to get stationed. And then it pops us back into the actual episode. And she says that she's been, praying literally constantly about whether or not they should get married and if they're going to receive their truth or their answer or whatever it is that they're calling it these days. And asks her mom what that actually looked like for her when she experienced it.
Oh, God. And then that just tears that I haven't seen since before Garrison passed away.
I couldn't speak for a half an hour. I was overcome for my bosom.
Someone else's shared husband.
I know. I loved the way she explained it. Like, well, in our church, everybody's an option.
Like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's just crazy. What if they're not openly wanting to be polygamous anymore?
Right.
But yeah, she called it a burning of the bosom. I just have this huge issue with her too, because she says a man shouldn't be a financial plan. Mm-hmm. Ain't that just the pot calling the kettle a son of a bitch? Because isn't that all she's done her whole life is make both of the men that she's married a financial plan, and the side women, the side mothers, if he's on a financial plan, then why do you have to retire from reality TV and then he has to go do these crazy shows so he can let you retire? That's a financial plan. You've not worked a day in your life. Why do you get to retire? Your kids are in school all day.
No, get a job.
And before that, you had a nanny. For what?
I know.
Your jewelry business just finally shut down after 10 years of inactive use.
Yep.
What is going on? Why? How can you sit there and say a man is not a financial plan? I mean, that has been your whole freaking life. And at least
try to
with Aurora, if she marries this guy that's in the military, she'll have benefits and she'll get out of your house and she'll live a life and actually get to leave the damn nest and see other places that might actually make her grow up a little bit. I could go on about this, but I'm shocked. Like,
I know. I mean, I know that they always say, to try to give your kids a better life than what you had. So maybe Robyn is trying to sway her away from the path that she took.
Well, then she shouldn't have brought this girl to church looking for a boyfriend. I'm sorry, but she knew exactly why these girls want to go to church looking for a boyfriend last season. And if she wanted to have her kids have a better life, she should have been a better example. And she also...
I completely agree. But this woman is stuck now. Like, she's completely stuck. She's stuck the way she likes to be. I think she's burrowed herself the F in all
Where else is she going to go? Where else would she even go?
Well, her man is her financial plan. That's the thing.
That's what she chose. She's been doing this since She got pregnant with Dayton. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
ran that other man to the ground. He had nothing left to give her. He was over it. And she was like, you know what? Screw it. You're abusive and I'm leaving because you're financially abusing me. I want dolls and I want journals and I want clothes and
I
things.
want it all.
I'm just, the woman infuriates me to the point where I just can't. I see
Right.
red when she
Yeah.
says stuff like this. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, no, obviously a man shouldn't be a freaking financial plan, but you saying it just
Right.
makes it so crazy.
It's just very hypocritical, right? It just, yeah, the whole thing is insane, like you said.
Yeah. What happened to the scene where when she first got in the family and she's like, so Kody, how do I pay a bill? Do I just like spend it on the counter? Let's not forget.
Right. In no days. They are not engaged. I think it's a big deal because I think Robyn is trying to figure out what their plan is. Like, are they planning to get engaged? Have they talked about these kinds of things? Because obviously, Brody's future is sort of starting to solidify. So I think she's trying to figure out, for Aurora, is her future being molded around Brody, or is it, her own plan? I don't think we got any clarity on that, but I think that's why it's big. I think she's trying to discern, what is your plan?
I would absolutely love it if there was a wedding, though, because then what you gonna do with the rest of the family? Can you invite them? Is it safe?
Maybe it's the first family gathering that they keep talking about.
There we go. Could bring the whole family together.
So we get into round 700 of this damn Christine apology, and thank God it's the last one because Christine is at her wit's end, and so are all of us. So
I mean, it truly was going nowhere. The only thing I realized during this whole apology, right? The only thing I realized during this whole thing was that Kody really does eat steak every damn meal.
Yeah. He had steak and sorbet. This man.
Constant steak.
Yeah, and it doesn't even look like it looks like he likes it well done.
I mean, like, I love steak, but I like it on occasion because it's a nice treat. If you ate it every single day, doesn't that take the exoticness out of it or the treat out of it? I mean, what is like, eat chicken. Like, there's other meats.
He does just only eat steak
and like green beans or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are two of my favorite things, but
sure.
Anyways.
But every day, all day, multiple meals.
It wouldn't be my favorite thing after that. Anything that's overdone is overdone.
Yeah, after seeing Robyn's pantry, I would love to see where their deep freezer is or wherever they keep the abundance of steak that this man needs to eat. Like, where is it?
Oh, man. So, I don't know. Kody starts off with some thanking in this 70th round of apologies without apologies. And, to me, when someone says thank you for at the end of a conversation that's gone on and on and on, you kind of get the sense that the person is ready to end the conversation. And I think Christine couldn't wait to hear just a smidge of this thing wrapping up.
Yep.
So, he goes on even more, and this is where
all begin healing.
I know. It's just like begin healing 4 years later when she's remarried. Are right. You?
This would have been an acceptable apology had this been 3-4 years ago, like before her marrying David. That would have been the time to apologize to her. At this point, it's like, cool, you loved me and thank you for the experience. Like, what? That wasn't an apology.
Yes, like, I'm sorry for being angry. I'm sorry for making things difficult. I'm sorry for how things have been and how I've acted. And that's all you needed to say. And you said those things, but you said 14 other things in between each of them. So they were all drowned and lost in this weird.
It could have been an email.
It could have been a lot less than this. Honestly, the way Kody presented all this, it didn't even need to be said. I think he pissed off Christine. He offended Christine on behalf of David. I think he really made things worse. The only progress that was made here was that the two of them saw each other in person, in contact, and did not have an argument.
Right. I mean, do I think he could have said that stuff, like, yes, I loved you, and I shouldn't have said that on national TV, and I shouldn't have, downgraded our relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also sorry for X, Y, and Z, and
Right.
please let's settle this truly thing out of court or something. That's what he really meant to say. But he could
Yeah.
have said all this stuff like as a thing, but instead he harped on like the past relationship and the love and the whatever for way too long, and it made everybody uncomfortable. And it's like, what are you doing? This isn't Janelle. She's not melting at your feet right now because you're saying like I love, like, what did he expect? Oh, I knew, I just knew, I knew, and like another one of those.
I know. Well,
I
and the
hope,
thing is,
like you
that's like,
said, I hope he gets it way more together with Meri, because she's gonna chew him up, spit him out in the
and
woods.
unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess for us, I don't think he's going to. So that's going to be a real treat for us. And actually, that is airing tonight. So I think
in a little bit.
Yes, it's coming in 2 hours, almost 2 hours. Anna's feisty today. Yes, she is.
I'm about to have a baby. Okay.
Yeah, she's fully cooked.
Yeah, that happens. Part of it's me, part of it's the baby, part of it's just watching this show for, I don't know. I mean, I've been watching it consecutively for 15 years, but just 20 seasons, which feels like 20 years, and them regurgitating the same crap just for them to contradict the same crap. And just, it just starts to get frustrating. I'm sorry. It just,
No, don't be sorry. I think we're all here for it.
Yeah, it's, I get moved by the spirit. I'm moved right now.
Well, David wants Kody to be moved by the spirit of Moab. Yes. So he brings up, I think he did this a little bit clumsy. I feel like he did not present this in the best of ways. And so
we saw how David spoke that one confessional. I mean, this was pretty well put together compared to that.
Facts. I don't think David really finishes many of his sentences. So the fact that this was a full sentence was pretty cool. So he did ask Kody to come to Moab, and he said, what helped me when I was being so stubborn like you were is to go to Moab and clear my mind. And also when I brought your ex-wife to Moab, we fell in love and I decided to marry her. So you should come to Moab and, hang out.
I mean, that wasn't his word for word, but yeah, pretty much.
Basically what he said. Kody was so rude about Moab. He literally brushed him off just like he brushed everything else off that David said, even though he invited David to this conversation. And he's just like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that.
That's what he wanted to say too when David brought up the kids. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that, but thanks.
Yeah. Just don't even say thanks. Why don't you just tell that man to get the F out of the room and you'll talk to him later.
Yeah, honestly, he could have just started with this. Like, well, you know what? Let's just see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll go from there. You know how many times I make plans with people and I don't, it doesn't happen. Kody, you don't have to be like the one that's like, oh, I'm not interested in that at all. No, just be like, let's see how tomorrow goes, buddy, and whatever. Right. Like, you've already made this man feel uncomfortable. Like,
right. But at the same time, it shows Kody's true intentions in this conversation. Kody is not interested in getting to know David whatsoever. I don't even think he's interested in getting to know David in a couple of years. And I think all the while, again, Kody cannot see past his own sphere of life that David spends so much time with his only minor child that does not live in his home, literally lives with the child, and spends other time with his adult children who like him. And it's just like, dude, why can you not wrap your mind around the fact that it would actually be a good thing, not for you guys to be buddies, you don't have to be pals, but like Christine says later on at the Speedway, it might be a good thing for us to enjoy some of our times together. We don't have to constantly be having these intense conversations all the time.
Yeah, if them sister wives had to hang out with each other even though they didn't like each other, why doesn't Kody have to do it with David?
You never really wanted to be good friends with these ladies. You never wanted to have a good relationship with these women.
Oh, the kids, that was the easy part.
My God.
I would quote that all day. I really like, he does have some great sound bites where I'm like, man, this is just gonna live on forever. Like when you die, Kody, there's gonna be a little tape recorder thing on your grave that just plays this shit out in the air. When people step on your grave, it'll be, there's a knife to the kidney. Like,
right.
Like, wow.
So
what is this?
Doesn't he look funky here?
Did he slick? Did he get sprayed and then flicked his hair back? Like, what is this look?
I think this is like a recent haircut type of situation.
His hair has to be wet.
He looked so weird in this scene. And he also looked a little like puffier, not heavier, but just he looked swollen. I don't know. I agree. I'm glad that you were taken aback.
I just didn't notice it before.
No, this was new. I mean, this is the first time I saw him looking like this too. So he didn't look like this in his other confessionals. I swear. It's true. I mean, let's go back to his last confessional. Gosh, was he in one? Too many crickets. Yeah. Look.
Well, he is looking down a little, but you could actually.
But his hair is longer.
Yeah, it's to the side a little. Yeah. So that's when he was transitioning, you think?
Yeah, because see how fluffy this is up top and dangly it is? I think this is when he started cutting his hair.
Cut it slowly is like a transitional period.
Yes.
Because now when you see him, he's got this weird.
There's no floofy up here.
That's,
Yeah. It makes his face look stubbier. I mean, look at the difference in man.
He's like he looks like he'd be his own brother.
Looks like he stopped buying it here too. Like
I don't get why Robyn wants him to leave this and shave off just this. Like, what is that doing for her?
Girl, I don't know. I get so confused by men's facial hair. I don't know. The whole thing is strange to me.
Yeah.
But Kody kind of ends off the conversation, the Moab conversation, at least, about how he really wants to manage expectations when it comes to the relationship, that they're not, maybe probably going to be friends right away. They just want he wants this to be a first step in all of this. And so it'd be a good thing for everybody to be talking, specifically Christine and Kody, but not necessarily ready to have a friendship between all of them, which fine, fair. I guess that's worth acknowledging and stating where you are and what you are and aren't willing to do. But at the same time, you've clearly already planned to go to a racetrack with these people. So I feel like that's kind of strange to say, let's see where tomorrow goes. We've pre-planned this fun activity. Yeah. And also, I don't want to hang out with you guys because that's not my intention. Like, what is it, Kody? What is your effing intentions? It's all self-serving.
He needs to write it all in an email and it'd be more.
She prefers a bare upper.
I didn't read that one when I put it up. I'll take that down. But
that's funny. Probably, maybe.
Oh my God, that's too much of a visual for me, Days.
I know. I really almost threw up in my mouth.
He does do a lot of that, but I didn't think about that.
Oh boy. So we wrapped the conversation up here with some sorbet. What?
So thank goodness.
Yes. And Kody still doesn't want to end the conversation. He's like, Christine, I haven't even finished my list that I've gone over and over and over again without actually saying the words that I'm sorry. And
yeah,
Christine
you had a whole hour. Like
an entire 3-course meal. I mean, dessert is served and you haven't finished your list. I think that is your fault.
Yeah, you should have had an outline and just went with the outline. But you know what? I have everything I need here written down. Just let me get through it and then we can discuss.
Right. Yeah. This man came completely unprepared. He had nothing. He said nothing. Christine was finished with him saying nothing. She could not even sit through watching that man eat his sorbet.
Yeah. she was over it. And you know what? Kody was all squinty eyed and weird with Janelle. Like, was the light in his eyes? He was all.
I think he was trying to be like serious, you know. It was just the whole time he's all like rubbing his lips together and squinty, and you know, I'm here to apologize for
Right, like,
what?
did he forget his contacts that day? I'm just so
Maybe.
confused on why he looked like that.
I mean, he's back in Arizona, you know, and in Las Vegas in the desert. Maybe it was a little dry.
Right. And I don't remember what outfit he wore for that, but I think he reused this outfit for Meri.
I think he did too. The outfit he wore,
Definitely.
no, I think the
The
Janelle
necklace
outfit.
was different, but the rest of it's the same.
You think so? I did. The
Yeah, I
outfit
saw a
looked
clip.
familiar in the preview. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a clip and he had a blue cross instead of those on, but it was the same outfit.
The
Jeans.
gem of the
Yeah, it was a gem one.
the Titanic gem?
No, not that one. Not his Titanic necklace. He had like a blue gem cross to go with it.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, he wore that, and he wore exactly the same outfit he wore with Christine. So I'll have to look back and see what he wore with Janelle, because I feel like he's even using the same outfit, just different necklaces.
I mean, Janelle's friends were interested in what he was wearing, and you know, he was. So my theory is actually, I don't think he's wearing this outfit in Meri's. I think he's wearing the same thing he wore to Janelle's. It's like a sport coat that goes over it. This is more of like a suit jacket.
I'm gonna have to find the clip. Hold on.
Yeah, you should. But so yeah, I mean, Christine's got to get out of there. She says she's reached her limit. You know, Kody is over here telling me that he has more things to say to me. I don't know why he hasn't said those things, but maybe we'll have to have a part 2. And I was cackling by the time this scene was over, because David, being David, I mean, we know him well enough to know that he's a pretty friendly guy and he could probably have a conversation with just about anybody. And this guy cannot get out of the room with Kody. And Christine just left. Like, she's calling from the door. She's like, babe, I'm stepping out. And she's gone. And then Kody and David go on and talk for like, you know, 2-3 more minutes. So they leave. We get a commercial break, and then we jump right back into the speed racing event. And this is where I think we get a little bit. Oh, what's this?
Oh, that was his clip. But honestly, his coat is a little different.
It's darker, right? I think it's
a little darker.
I think it's the one from Janelle. Let me see. I might even have the picture still from Janelle's episode, but I think I might have deleted
Day said, did he get these necklaces from Sister Wives' closet? You know, I don't know. Probably not. I don't think they had like gemstones, and a lot of their, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but a lot of their jewelry was kind of like weird and tacky, like fairies and stuff, like things that like little girls might like, but it's weird to, and like it was weird, like it was all Sister Wives related, like it didn't appeal to the mass public. It'd say like Sister Wives on it or whatever. I don't know.
Or it was more feminine. Oh, I did find, I'm not going to be able to upload these all the way.
Jewelry was pretty feminine.
I'm not going to be able to upload these all the way, but I did find pictures of Kody from.
Yeah, he was wearing a black one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's still the same. Like, he's really just reusing the same outfits. But yeah, I think he dressed the most different for Janelle. But I think all he changed in this outfit was his coat, because he is wearing a white undershirt and a necklace and, you know, whatever. But he's way more dressed up than Meri is. Meri showed up in her like worthy up shirt and was like, you know what? It ain't that serious. We're in the woods.
Good for her. I mean,
we're at a picnic table outside. Why are you wearing a sports coat?
Exactly. So Christine lets us know that for the racetrack situation, she's really trying for things to just be light and for them to have a good time together. She wants for her kids to ask how things went and to be able to tell them that everything went awesome. And she's hoping that through this experience, maybe Kody can recognize that whenever he does get around to trying to apologize to his kids, that it's not such an intense situation like a sit-down dinner, but maybe that they just sort of hop back into enjoying each other and making good memories. I think that there's some, something to that. I do think Kody has some things that he needs to straight up say to his kids, but maybe they can be said during the course of having a fun time together instead of coming in all intense, with these emotions. These are your kids after all.
Yeah, like maybe you start off with an activity, but then at some point you do got to sit down and whether that's one-on-one conversations or a group, I would just do it as a group because you think that they all left as a group. Then address them as a group and be like, what? I don't know where I fell short, but I'm willing to hear you guys out on what you think I did wrong and whatever. I mean, that's the bare minimum.
I completely
I didn't handle COVID very well.
I think it would be great for him to start off as a group, like he's trying to talk to David about all of this happened as a family. It didn't happen as an individual experience. I disagree. But if that's the perspective that he's taking, why not start it off as a group? Because then the kids can feel supported too and feel like, if they really want to confront him about things, that they have each other's back instead of it being a one-on-one, intense thing.
But so Kody would never go for it because that would be attacking. But
completely. All the triangulation used in the wrong way.
Honestly, I think Robyn could have went with him on this little apology tour and just said at least all these women bare minimum, because like she is part of the problem, is that we could have handled COVID better, and we didn't have to isolate everybody and blah, 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 because COVID ended up not being a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal for some people. I'm not trying to minimize that. But what I'm saying is that for them, it wasn't truly life or death for this family.
Well, Kody would argue with you about that. He says he was on his deathbed when he got it. So,
well, apparently he's fine.
He is fine. That's the thing. But I think if there's just no way in the world that he would sit down with his wife next to him and say, yeah, I overreacted to COVID. Because if you ask this man now, he still does. Remember when him and Janelle had their last sit-down conversation and she kind of laughed a little bit about him having COVID and he was like, I'm serious. That was terrible experience. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was Christine. He was so offended.
Yeah, I think that was just his way of making it like making his rules okay. Of reinforcing his rules were necessary, even though the nanny didn't do it. In fact, I saw the funniest picture, and I think I screenshotted it. Maybe I can send it to you. Of the nanny, and she had, maybe I sent it to you on Facebook. Actually, I probably don't have it.
It was on Facebook, yeah. And
that she had Ariella on a leash when they were moving.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, that's what this lady's here for. Christine could have totally held her on a leash.
I know. Like, you had 3 other women that could put your child on a leash. I mean, geez Louise.
Honestly.
And on top of 3 other adult women, you had at least like 5 to 8 kids who could have been responsible for holding a leash.
Yeah, if all she's doing is, taking this girl for a walk on a leash, then, I mean, anybody can do that. You don't need to hire a nanny for that.
I know. Like,
you need to hire a nanny at all. But,
Facts. So we do get this, racetrack situation. We don't have to go too in depth into this. I thought it was quite hilarious. Why did she say David was kissing stuff? Who said that?
Oh, yeah, Christine did. When David was picking out his car and he was kissing it, she wanted a picture of it, and then she said, like, oh, I kissed it. She's like, yeah, you've been kissing all kinds of stuff or something like that. And I'm like, what? I did.
Oh my
now that you say that, I remember that now. And I was kind of like, okay, but I don't know what that means.
Oh my gosh. I watched this episode 3 times.
Maybe I'll find it in the clip. Hold on.
I mean, I believe y'all.
Well, keep going.
So Anne's gonna check that out for us, Days. So Kody is looking well, he picks out his car. And he pretty much says, I don't know how today's going to go. I don't know what's going to go on. All I've pretty much done is pick my car out. And it's like, dude, that is how today is going to go. There's no more apologies to be said. There's nothing else to say. What Christine and David's intent for the day is to be able to now make a memory that goes past this intense, awkward, weird conversation that you fumbled, and it's nobody else's fault but your own. So he picks out his stupid car, and they all decide to go driving. They're not necessarily racing each other at the same time. They're all going on their own, which makes for really awkward and great television for us to all watch, because we get to see David and Kody just awkwardly standing next to each other. And it's like, I almost got the sense that Kody wanted to cheer Christine on, because that's kind of the natural thing you do when you're all coming together as a group to race with each other. But he thought it was inappropriate, so he just allowed David to cheer Christine on. It's like, why does everyone have to be so awkward and robotic and weird? I don't get it.
Yeah, and was David wearing a what is that called? My husband wears those for his waves.
I don't know what it's called. It's for your helmet, though.
Do-rag. Is he wearing a do-rag?
No, it's probably a type of do-rag, but this is for his helmet.
It looks really much like a do-rag.
There's probably one under Kody's head too. It's just his helmet covering it. But yeah, I mean, it does look like a do. It's to protect your hair and your ears, but I think it's to, like, for your helmet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Christine and Kody kept a distance. I do think they could have at least talked to each other. Kody was so weird in this confessional. Like, people, I was married to her for 25 years. And
now we're married to other people.
You've been married to other people since you've been married to her. What are you talking about? And two, don't act like we haven't been watching this show for 20 damn seasons. We know you guys were married before. Just say, yeah, it's a little awkward right now because we're on weird terms and she's married to someone else. And
well, that is why it's awkward. But instead, he acts like this weird prude and gets all giggly about it. And he's like, oh, we can't stand next to each other because people could never think that we're in a relationship.
Trust me, no one does.
Like, dude, do you think that anyone would think that these two humans even know each other?
Yeah, the least you could, I mean, even people who aren't together and who are co-parenting can stand next to each other and have a conversation and be
they should be able to, at least.
Even if it's not about, David or whatever. Kody could have finished his little apology there if he wanted to make things nice and awkward. He could have been like, I didn't really get to finish what I was saying. I apologize for abandoning our kids and not really, paying child support on Truly and not seeing her in the last year or so, whenever the last time I saw her was. And, like whatever the actual list should have been, but,
right.
And for the nachos, he should have apologized to her at least for the nachos and making her feel not attractive. I don't know why, of all the things he apologized for, he didn't apologize for that more so than I did love you.
I know. I agree. I mean, he really could have gone into some specifics about it, but I will say it doesn't seem like Christine was open to hearing a lot of specifics. I think she wanted to hear just a general, like she said, I'm open to a bam, 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 but I don't want to go back and forth with this guy.
Well, they didn't have to go back and forth about it, but he could have been like, I could have been nicer to you, in this X, Y, and Z way. And, sorry about that. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unfortunately, Kody won. Whatever. So I don't know. He ends off the whole like racetrack thing by saying, that this chapter has passed, that they've spent so long together as a couple, and that there's now been 4 years of pain, and he's hoping that all of that is over and they can move forward with forgiveness and charity.
What's the charity for? Do you need more money for you and Robyn's next down payment on something? What's the charity?
Probably. Did you find?
I found the clip for you, Days. Let's listen.
Baby, this is my baby. Wow. What are you filming? Oh God! Just wait. I need to get a picture of that. Hold on. Let's do that again. I saw that. You kissed a lot of things. David had this idea too.
And that's where I was kind of like, what do you mean he kissed a lot of things? Was he kissing the entire car at one point? Like, was he kissing? How many things was David kissing this day? Like,
was she being suggestive?
I don't know. Like, I think that's what Days is wondering.
Right. I don't know either. Wow. I mean, good for David and Christine, right? They gotta be
good catch, Days, because I forgot about that.
Yeah,
it made me uncomfortable. That's for sure. When I watched it.
Yeah, that was. She said you kiss a lot of things. Oh my god,
he kissed a lot of things.
Wow.
Anyways,
so
here's this man Kody Vance dude that I've never seen before. I don't know if y'all have, but I never have. This is not cross-eyed man, that's for sure.
This is not cross-eyed man. This is not his brother. This is not, Kody's introduced him this is not the polygamous hating friend from high school. We have met a lot of Kody's friends, and we have not met this man that I'm aware of.
Sorry, I had to open up my thing again.
So, I think here's Brian. He could be a stranger. He could be a friend. Nobody really knows, but he is sitting through this conversation along with us. And he believes that it's the right thing to do for Kody to have all of these apologies since he's so intimately familiar with how everything has gone down. I was so mad when Kody starts saying all this stuff about how he's never going to trust these women again and how he's not even that interested in being friends with them and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is the point then of you going around on this apology tour? It's just a confirmation to me that all he's doing is walking around projecting to all these women saying, you need to heal and here I am to heal you. Hear my words and be healed. No.
And TLC must have told him he needs to do something with these women. Otherwise, the season's going to be a real short one.
That is the thing. This man is in this only for himself and himself only. He's going on this apology tour again to shield his shy, pretty Diesel Jeans model wife from having to lift a damn finger. So he's just going to be the traveling Kody going all the way from damn Africa to Utah. Just on his own damn apology tour. And I'm so mad. He's not interested in anything when it comes to these women.
No.
And that clearly, then why are you out here apologizing to them? You want them to quote unquote heal, but you're not interested in building a trusting relationship with them and building any kind of relationship with them. And then he goes on as to say, well, to my knowledge, they don't even respect my wife enough to acknowledge that she exists. And it's like, again, Kody, that is your fault. And who benefits from that? You do.
And it's Robyn's fault. You guys literally got out of a car and ignored them too. Like,
right. But I just think Kody set that precedent. He set that standard to have them all pitted against each other. He's doing it so Robyn can retire. Yes, he wants to shield Robyn from having to do as much of any like little TV as possible. The guy pisses me off. So Meri catches wind now finally that it's time for her portion of the ex-wives tour that Kody is on. And of course she can't do anything without consulting her friends, as most women can't do. So
they are flabbergasted.
Dude, they're shocked. I mean, I think anybody would be shocked if any of our girlfriends sat down after they've been divorced for 4 years, 2 years, 1 year. I mean,
for Meri, 10, 15. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it's just, I would be like, what is the purpose? What is the point? Even if we're having an olive branch at this point, it's just, why not just have a phone conversation? Why do you need to drive all the way over here just to talk to me?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, Jen especially is like, what is going on with this olive branch of benevolence? The weird thing is they say that Kody uses this word all the time, and I've never really heard him say this word to Meri. Like, why are you cutting all this out, TLC? I want to hear him say this all the time. Benevolence. That whole word, I mean, I don't even know what it means for sure, to be honest with y'all. I don't know what that word means, but it makes me visualize Maleficent for some reason.
Me too. Actually, I think
it sounds like a villain.
Yes. I've heard Kody say benevolence a couple of times, but not as much as their acting. Like he has said this, but yeah, I mean, Jen is just really frustrated by the whole thing. She says that she sprinkles that word around like confetti, and also sprinkles around the word bitch like confetti, and so she's just sprinkling around all that benevolence.
How is that a word you can sprinkle? Like, it's not like a regular word. It's a long word.
It is a long word. And I don't think that that's really a word that, like, yes, it's in Kody's vocabulary, but I don't think it's a word that he's like capable of applying.
It means kindness.
Yeah, I don't think he like, and kindness out of sheer desire and personal will, not just like a transactional
desire
kindness.
to do good for others.
Yeah, like not just a transactional, you do this for me and I do this for you, scratch your back, I scratch mine. Like I want to.
He wants Meri to heal. If I was Meri or even Christine, I guess, because he didn't really say this to Janelle, but if he said to me, like, I'm doing this for your healing and whatever, I'd be like, oh my God, I have been healed. Thank God.
I know. Like you just or like when Raven on that So Raven used to have one of her visions, like, I'm healed.
Oh my gosh, I have been holding on to it for so long. Thank you for freeing me.
Yeah.
I would just like
that's what he wanted to hear from Christine, and instead he got David saying, well, do you want to hear my advice? And he's like, no, man, I'm apologizing here with words,
with benevolence,
apologies, sorrows.
Yeah, he's so strange. So yeah, we go back over here, and this guy is asking, how you think Meri's gonna deal with this, because you sure about apologizing to her, because she's not like the others.
Yeah. And Kody knows as much. He's like, this is probably going to be a little bit more bitter than the others. And it's like, we're already getting the foreshadowing of that in the conversation that Meri just had with her friends and how they're skeptical.
He only divorced her in 2014 to marry Robyn, and then didn't only like hung out with her for like a month afterwards, and then left her out to dry, let her get catfish, let her embarrass herself. And then she still stayed, hoping that you would come around for over a decade just for you to hang her out to dry once all the other wives left. Yeah, I think there'd be a little bit of extra bitterness.
Right. And now he's peddling this rumor around about how, he was going to have this backdoor deal with Janelle and not even involve her in this. So yeah, I think that there's going to be some bitterness there as well. Yeah. And our friend Brian,
he says, I had this backdoor deal with Janelle, and then this guy calls him out on it rightfully. Like, what do you think she's going to think about this? And he said, oh, well, that was just Janelle talking. Like, that's how I know that this wasn't even like a real backdoor deal. He's just exaggerating it. And Janelle probably hasn't even thought about it since the conversation really even happened. Like, she was probably like, yeah, I mean, you could do that.
I mean, what I love is that at least Brian here is smart enough to know that we're filming a television show, Kody. And so anything that happens that is talked about on this television show is going to be shown and talked about amongst everyone on the television show. And so, yeah, you might not share with Meri that this is a conversation that happened, whether or not it was serious, but it will be shared with Meri, and she's gonna know. It's like, why are you walking into an apology to this woman if you're genuinely wanting to apologize and still manipulating her to the fact that you're not going to share with her the full depth of what you've done? You're just going to wait for someone else to tell her that because you're not going to be the one to talk to her about it. He's just a piece of crap, and the crap just gets stinkier and stinkier by the day.
When he says that Janelle's going to have to tell her, dude, he says she's not going to learn from me. We all learned from you in the show. It was you in the confessional that talked about the backdoor deal. So yeah, she's going to learn from you on the show, your mouth. What do you mean? She's not learning from me. She's going to have to learn from Janelle. Yeah, okay. Janelle wouldn't even been asked that question in the confessional had you not have already brought it up 3 times before that. And Robyn.
Right. He's the only one bringing it up. He's bringing it up in confessionals. He's bringing it up to his friends. He's talking to Robyn about it. He's the only one that's actually talking about this. When it was brought up to Janelle from the producers in a confessional, she brushed it off like, that like she said, well, I told him it's an option. I told him it's a possibility. Well, that is a possibility. It just was. The way that Kody had all those properties situated, it was a possibility for him to do that at that time. That was what they were trying to literally change. But
I bet he even brought it up. Like, I could just sell it out from under and divide it all and whatever and give it to her. Well, you could do that. That's what I assume the conversation went. Like, I don't think Janelle was like, well, you could do this and, maybe you should do this. And if you do this, I'm fine with it and blah, blah. I think she literally he said something and she's like, yep, I mean, you could do that.
Yep, that's a possibility. That's an option. That's something you could do. I think Kody was so mad that a lawyer was involved on her end that he probably was venting to Janelle about the lawyer situation and saying, well, she's holding this whole process up and, I don't know what I'm going to do if they turn around and say we don't have a deal or we have to make another deal or whatever. And she's probably said, well, you could still sell it. You don't have to agree with her.
Right. Well, the thing is with that land
thing that was probably said.
If someone's got the money and wants to buy that land, they'll wait a little bit for that shit to get settled before totally bailing on that land. Because, I mean, to develop land and do all that is such a long process anyways. What's an extra week or 2 of Meri's nonsense? I don't.
Right. Yeah. It's not like you're,
I don't think you're losing the buyer.
Right. So, Brian asks Kody another question about the family and asks if there's ever any chance in the future that everyone's going to all come together and gather. And Kody kind of brings up a whole bunch of excuses. And at the end of it, he says, right now, I'm just trying to apologize to my wives and I'm not exactly ready to answer the question about the future. He said something about it maybe being hypocritical for them to all get back together because it would be like brushing everything under the rug. But I think
that's what he's trying to do with these apologies. What the hell's the point?
Right. Why not at least, be present and start being present in somebody's life at that time?
Because to get together, he would have to be accountable to his actual kids now and not just the wives. It's like he's more open to a sit down, like all of the wives being in one spot than everybody being in one spot. And I can't help but wonder, like, why? What
because
happened?
His wives have truly moved on. I mean, they are adults and they are responsible for their own healing. But I believe in any parent-child relationship, I don't care how old you are, your parent is more responsible than you are to facilitate healing. And so I think the wives correctly understood that separated, I need to heal myself so that I can appropriately move on. But when you're a child who's been abandoned at any age by their parent, you need your parent to move on. You need your parent to, it's just, I think Kody is completely avoiding any opportunity, any iota of taking real accountability because these women can just walk away like Christine did. It doesn't matter how shitty the apology was. She can walk away and be happy with her life. But Kody's going to have to actually sit through these kids' conversations. And he says to Christine in this episode, I'm willing to hold space and hear what they have to say. But at the same time, he's very clearly saying, take this apology on my terms and nobody else's if you want healing. And if you don't, then you don't get healing.
Yeah. That's what's crazy to me is that I don't think he's opposed to seeing his ex-wives again if he had to, but for some reason he's opposed for the whole family to get together because that would mean dealing with his kids. And for some reason he's not willing to deal with any of his kids. I don't understand that. And I mean, you can do all these apologies, but it's not going to matter if you can't sit in a room with your kids at the end of the day. Like, what's the point of the apologies if you're not trying to do that? And also, it's not safe for Robyn. That's why it won't happen. It's not safe for me and my kids. They got mad at me over Christmas presents.
Right. He has to protect his family first and foremost. So he says in his confessional as he's anticipating visiting Meri that his hopes for himself is that he just doesn't escalate the conversation. He anticipates that Meri will probably escalate the conversation and deliver some verbal punches, but he's just going to say that I probably deserved that and hope that at some point he gets through to her. I hope she punches him. It would be deserved. That's for sure.
Yeah, he is very like worked up Meri at this point to where like he thinks she is this really aggressive individual. Like, he's afraid of her a little bit.
Yeah. I think he is intimidated by her, and I think her having close friends like this only makes it worse, and that's why he's taking shots at them too.
I don't think he'd be apologizing to her unless he did the other two, because he has to, because otherwise it's, well, they got apologies and I didn't. But
exactly,
you ain't getting no Rice Krispie treats in that woods, that's for sure.
So
I wonder if he requested them.
Right. He probably did. I mean,
you can come, but bring me some Rice Krispies, Meri. I'll meet you in the woods like we normally do. Like, and why did you guys have to meet up in a different city? Because she's meeting up with him, not in Parowan. She's meeting up with him in some other city to just sit in the woods.
Meri's friends are very concerned about Meri's energy, so maybe Meri doesn't want Kody's energy anywhere near Parowan.
Sure, but then go to a restaurant or something like the other ones. Like, why are you bringing her into the woods? I'd be concerned if I was Meri's friends, seeing them sitting at a picnic table in the woods.
I agree. I completely agree. But I almost wonder if this was Meri's choice. I know it was Kody's choice to go wherever he took Janelle. I don't know who decided on Las Vegas with Christine. But I almost wonder if this was Meri's choice. Like, this was her way of saying, I'm really not interested in a friendship, a conversation. I don't want to sit down and have dinner with you. Then we have to sit through a whole thing like Christine had to. I just, let's sit at a picnic table and I can leave whenever I want.
But like, y'all broke up at a picnic table multiple times. I mean, this picnic table conversation has not worked for y'all thus far. Agreed. Also, at least with a dinner, after the meal is done, you can, be like, all right, well, the meal is done. It's time for me to leave. Like, you can easily get out of there. Like, you're just in the woods at a picnic bench. This could take forever. This could be hours.
I don't think Meri is willing to sit with him at a table for hours, but I agree. And I don't see my thing. I don't think Meri is willing to sit with him at a table for an endurance of dinner. I really, her friends ask her what her intentions are and how she wants this conversation to go. And she says, I've already tried to be friends with this guy and it didn't go well. So I think she just really wants them to not have so much anger back and forth. And I think she wants to make it really clear to him, and I hope that she does, that he is not allowed and not able to be talking crap about her friends. And if he does, then she's going to respond to that. And that's just how the dynamic is going to be. She's not going to hold her tongue anymore, and he's going to have to deal with that. I hope we find out whose idea it was tonight. I hope we do too, because I am perplexed, and Anne is obviously perplexed. I think we're all perplexed. Why did we go from a beautiful conference room, a table that could fit 100 people, the whole damn family, to a picnic table in a random place in Utah?
Like I said, if I was Meri and I saw where the other ladies went, probably on, at least Janelle was on his dime. If I was Janelle,
her TLC's dime.
Yeah, and she got a picnic bench. I would have been starving after that conversation too. Like, it would have been nice to have some food.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Meri tells her friends, like, she really was just hoping to have a decent divorce, and she's not sure that she's even going to get that out of the whole situation with Kody. And, they give her some reassurance and let her know that she's kind of done everything that she could at this point. And now she just really needs to protect her space and protect her energy. And it ends with the obvious, that Meri lets us know that Kody's energy messes with her energy. And she's going to try to protect it as much as possible. I don't know why her friends are so concerned with her energy, but she is finally at a higher vibrational level. She's just experiencing more joy and more life. So I guess they probably just don't want her to fall too hard.
Well, especially Jen too, probably had to deal with the aftermath of everything. She dealt with the catfishing thing and all that. Like, in the last 10 years, she's probably been trying to convince this woman, like, stop talking to this man. He's not coming over.
I know.
You know, like, I don't know. So let's see. I guess we'll see next episode what happens with Meri and this conversation. I'm so curious. I'm almost more like excited for this apology than any of the others, because I think there's going to be some real reckoning here.
I think there's a lot of mystery here, which amplifies the excitement. We don't know why they're meeting, where they're meeting. We don't know how it's going to go. They haven't given us a lot about this. And yeah, I think that this is the one that has the most highest stakes, right? Like, I think we all knew that things were going to go
picnic table. Like, is this picnic table at a park? Is this picnic table just randomly in the woods somewhere? Like, how did they know where to find it? So yeah, there's a lot of mystery with this, and Janelle is just too nice, you know, and Janelle didn't really give me much of nothing. Christine didn't give me anything. I think she just felt awkward at a certain point, and then she retreated inside of herself. So
until she could leave the room.
So she could physically, she just couldn't handle it anymore. She's like, I'm done with this. So yeah, I think that Meri is going to give me what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I hope so, at least. So that is going to be the next episode, which is going to air on TLC tonight at 10 o'clock. So just a few short hours, and we will be able to see the mysterious meeting, the mysterious picnic table. Hopefully we get some questions answered about that. Also in the episode, we're going to see Janelle talk to Maddie about getting a spiritual divorce. And Maddie seems to have an unwelcoming response to that. Maybe she's just confused as to like why now, especially after they just talked and all of that. But
sure, like father, like daughter.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. And then Christine talks more with David about plural marriage. And I really like their conversations, and I like David's take on everything. And I appreciate that they probably have to like download with each other after the apology. I know that's just part of like reality TV, but I really
how many times
talking after that's about plural marriage.
So much
and live their own life and heal.
And heal from a plural marriage.
And heal.
Yeah.
So that's next time, aka tonight. I think me and Anne plan to film about the final stop on the apology tour on New Year's Day on Thursday.
Let's ring in the new year with some old crap.
Yes, as usual with Sister Wives. So we'll be here a little bit early just so that we can get that out of the way for the new year and spend the first day of 2026 talking about old crap, like Anne said, but with you all. So thank you again for joining us all. We are probably wrapping this up here soon. So if you have anything else to say about the episode, please let us know.
Yeah, any last hot takes? I
don't know. Final words?
I will say I definitely think he should have at least brought Robyn to Meri's apology, because she speaks Kody, and Meri might need an interpreter. Like he
I don't know. I mean,
and then we could get that scene again where she wanders off and cries.
That's what I'm saying. She was there last time, and she just made a whole debacle out of it. So,
but they had a good conversation after she did that. It was like good. It was good for them.
I guess.
They already had one person losing their mind. They didn't, need two.
That's true. No, I am glad that Robyn excused herself, at least from that conversation, if she was going to freaking freak out like that. I can't watch it.
Just like she was in the last episode. I can't even think about that. I'm going to have to leave.
I know. I'm not going to be able to be on set. Hope is so dangerous.
I'm about to fly the nest.
This lady is losing her mind. Just completely lost it.
I wonder how this Christmas was for her, if she was bobbing around the Christmas tree again.
I don't know. She's got herself a new house. She's got herself a Brody. Her family's probably going to be getting married soon, celebrating a wedding. I think she's as miserable as she is with Kody. I think she's probably pretty happy, with her dolls and her journals and her house and her kids. And
with her material things.
Her materials, yes.
She does like her materials. She's even got Kody wearing necklaces now. Like, he's starting to evolve into Robyn, You know, he
Yeah,
wears like
he's-
similar outfits to her, like a jacket over like a shirt kind of thing, like that. He never really wore stuff like that before.
Well,
working
Kody
with
was
Robyn.
kind of like always wanted to be like a city guy, you know, like he had that nice car, and you know, he always wanted, I think, to present himself this way, but he had too many wives and kids that he had to actually support at the time. And now that he's abandoned all of them, that he can wear all this jewelry now, buy all these art pieces.
To each their own. To each their own. Yeah.
So I think that that's all for us today, Chick Chatters. So we're excited to see the episode tonight. We're excited to chat about it with you all on New Year's Day. And please don't forget to like the video. It looks like we only have 3 likes, and I know that there's some people who've popped in and out. So like the video on your way out, and subscribe if you haven't. And we'll be back to chat with you all next week.
Like and subscribe, and remember to share. You don't even have to actually share, just copy the link like Brooke says.
Yes, just click it and share it 100 times. It helps, they say.
But for now, we'll see you next year. So reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and Happy New Year.
Peace out, 2025.
Yep.